$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
Hello and welcome to The Breakdown. I'm your host, Sandra Babu-Boateng. Today I'm taking you to the beautiful South African nation of Lesotho, the country Trump said nobody has heard of. Well, today we're going to hear about it and we're going to learn about it. We're doing what we do best here on The Breakdown, breaking it all the way down. We're talking about Lesotho, its history, its people, and 5 fascinating things you should know about this incredible country. But before we do, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another critical conversation like the one we're about to have. All right, folks. So once again, Africa is on the receiving end of another uninformed, dismissive comment from none other than President Trump. And this time, the lucky winner is Lesotho. While addressing Congress on March 4th, Trump claimed that the Biden administration spent $8 million in Lesotho to promote LGBTQ rights. And then he added, a country nobody has ever heard of, while Republican lawmakers laughed.
$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
With that comment, Trump just wiped Lesotho off the map, right? Like it doesn't exist. And honestly, this isn't new behavior. This is the same man who famously referred to African nations as, and I quote, shithole countries. Remember that? Now, you should know that the Lesotho government has come out to completely debunk this claim. They've expressed shock and embarrassment as the U.S. actually does have an embassy in the capital, Maseru. The country's main LGBTQ rights organization denied receiving funds from Washington and said they are unclear as to which exact program Trump was referring to. The organization's spokesperson, Tampose Mothopeng, said, and I quote, "We are literally not receiving grants from the U.S. We have no idea of the allocation of $8 million. Quote. Now, the U.S. government foreign assistance website corroborates this, as it did not list any specific financial support for LGBTQ rights in Lesotho. Instead, it indicated that about $120 million had been spent on health and population programs in the country, including $43.5 million to tackle HIV/AIDS. So let's get into it. Where is Lesotho and why does it matter? Because if we're being real, a lot of people, including those who should know better, have no clue. Lesotho is a small, mountainous country with a population of 2.3 million people. It is completely landlocked by South Africa. That's right, it's one of only 3 countries in the world that are completely surrounded by another nation. Think of it like an island, but instead of water, it's got land and mountains. Lots of mountains. Lesotho is often called the kingdom in the sky because of its elevation. It's actually the only country in the world where every single inch of its land is over 1,000 meters above sea level. So if you've got dreams of living above the clouds, Lesotho is where it's at. Now let's take a quick history lesson, but don't worry, I'll make it painless, okay? Lesotho was originally part of what's now South Africa. But in the 19th century, the Basotho people, led by King Moshoeshoe I, fought off invaders and colonizers, including the Boers, who were expanding their control over the region. Instead of letting his people get swallowed up, Moshoeshoe pulled a power move. He negotiated with the British in the 1860s to make Lesotho a protectorate. Now, that decision is why Lesotho is its own country today instead of another province in South Africa. The nation finally gained independence from the British in 1966, and today it's a constitutional monarchy, meaning they still have a king, but they also have a prime minister and a government, kind of like the UK. Currently, Lesotho's monarch is King Letsie III, who has been on the throne since 1996, and his wife, Queen Masenate Mohato Seeiso, is a beloved figure in the country known for her advocacy work in health and education. They have 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, who is the heir apparent. The monarchy in Lesotho is largely ceremonial, but it holds significant cultural importance for the Basotho people. Now, on the political side, Lesotho operates under a parliamentary system. The prime minister, who is the head of government, is currently Sam Matekane, a businessman turned politician who took office in 2022. His government is responsible for handling economic policies, development plans, and foreign relations. However, like many nations, Lesotho has faced political instability with frequent changes in leadership and coalition governments. So while the king is a unifying symbol of the nation, it's the prime minister and the parliament that handle the day-to-day governments. And let's just say it's not always smooth sailing. Okay, so now that we've got the background, the history covered, let's get into 5 things you need to know about this small African country. Number 1, Lesotho is home to Africa's highest pub. That's right. If you want to sip a cold one at the highest altitude on the continent, you need to visit Sunny Mountain Lodge, sitting at 2,874 meters above sea level. Imagine drinking a beer literally in the clouds. Now, that's a flex. Number 2, it snows in Lesotho. Yep, not all of Africa is hot and dry. Because of its elevation, Lesotho actually experiences real winter with snowfall and everything. In fact, it's one of the only places in Africa where you can go skiing, and it has the highest ski resort in sub-Saharan Africa. So if you thought Africa was just deserts and savannas, surprise! Number 3, water is Lesotho's white gold. That's right, Lesotho might not be rich in diamonds or oil, but what it does have is water. Lots of it. In fact, it exports water to South Africa through massive hydroengineering projects like the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. So yes, South Africa relies on little Lesotho for some of its water supply. Number 4, Lesotho is a powerhouse in textile manufacturing. So this tiny country is one of the largest textile exporters in Africa, producing clothes for brands like Levi's, Gap, and Walmart. So if you own a pair of Levi's, there is a pretty good chance they were made in Lesotho. Just another way Africa is more connected to the global economy than people actually think. Number 5, it has one of the highest literacy rates in Africa. Despite its economic challenges, Lesotho has a literacy rate of around 80%. And get this, education is mandatory for children between the ages of 6 and 13. The government actually prioritizes schooling. Well, there you have it. 5 things you probably didn't know about Lesotho, but definitely should. And this is why these dismissive, ignorant comments about African nations matter, right? Because when you write off entire countries, especially ones with rich histories and strategic importance, you're not just being rude and disrespectful, you're also proving just how little you know about the world. So the next time someone tries to tell you that Lesotho doesn't matter, hit them with the facts. Because here on The Breakdown, we don't do ignorance, we do knowledge. So I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 facts about Lesotho surprised you the most and why? Also, what other African nations do you think deserve more global attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So that's it for today. Thanks for staying with me. If you found this episode insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep the conversation going. Until next time, take care.